So we have a little bit of a pitching change. Not a little. This is back and forth as Jalea Lee will be back on the bump. Claire Page will go back to first base as they exchange positions once again. As we get the third inning underway, it'll be Phillips followed by Corsby and then Faust. So 5, 6, and 7 for the Lincoln Rail Splitters. They struck for 2 runs in that last inning. They sent 8 batters up to the plate. Now Lee back to work. She's walked 3. No strikeouts yet. Has given up 4 hits, so we get all the changes made as Bill Borchett goes through the lineups here. In softball, you're allowed to do that as long as the players remain out in the field. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they can do that as much as they want.
They aren't taken out of the lineup, pinch run for, pinch hit for. They can swap positions. And it's a good setup because Lee's a first baseman and Page is playing first. So you just flip-flop them. I would expect to see, if they get into a little bit of a jam here in this inning, that they might make that change again.
Well, Kylie Phillips says hello with a leadoff hit for the Lincoln Rail Splitters. How about this for the 8th grader?
Being aggressive, knowing that you're going to get a pitch that's going to have a little pace to it. It's going to be in the zone, so why not try to tee off on that first pitch?
Now here's Anna Corsby. Shows bunt, lays off for ball 1. Corsby walked in the second and scored. Two balls, no strikes.
And I think the Rails are going to be patient at the plate, too, right? Knowing that Lee is a little bit wild. They're going to be very selective in what they do.
Shows bunt, laid down. Lee will field, fires to first. Good coverage there by Huggins. And the sacrifice bunt laid down by Corsby.
They square at the last minute, lay it down. Lee handles it, gets it over to Huggins, who was shaded a little closer to first base, got over there very quickly.
Tying run in scoring position after this one is Faust on the infield. Huggins is there. There are 2 gone.
Get that pop up, get the second out. You still have a runner at second base. And Dahlhauser, who had a base hit in her last at bat. So an opportunity here again to tie it up.
Dahlhauser down the line, but foul. Drops in for strike 1. Mentioned Dahlhauser. Now 1 for 2 or 3 in the series. After this one, ground ball left side of the infield. Tough play for Burriola and makes it. What a long throw across the diamond. That's going to be it for Lincoln here in the 3rd. No runs on a hit. They leave a runner stranded. Burriola making it happen for Roosevelt as we go to the bottom of the 3rd next.
Get big rewards with every tap with FS.
They're out in full force here tonight. Of course, a newly renovated softball complex and baseball field here at Roosevelt High School, and they're enjoying the facilities here. They got the shade up, but man, there was a lot of work and effort put into these facilities at Roosevelt High School with the fence, the new dugouts, of course, the new warning track that was placed. That's a very, very nice facility.
Yeah, the softball diamond, new football field that they put down turf. They put up lights, redid the track surface, and then a couple years prior to that, baseball had done some renovation as well. So it's a nice little sports complex here on campus at Roosevelt.
Yeah, they got the Randy Duncan Field over there that you mentioned, the new turf. Wonder if they did a combo with MediaCom Stadium. Did you get a 2-for-1 deal?
I don't
I'm sure
know if
somebody tried to
anybody
work
asked.
that. I sure hope
You
so.
should have asked.
Now Isabel Huggins. Base knock for Huggins. That's her second hit here in the game. Back to back she goes.
Huggins at the rip up the middle. That's going to bring up number 4, Avery.
Good piece of hitting here.
Thing that you've noticed with these Roosevelt hitters, they're all on a level plane. Everything they're swinging at, they're leveling it off, getting the barrel to the ball on a level plane.
Now Vukovic, who sacrificed back in the first. And just in 8th grade, looking to step into the high school. Coming up this fall. Getting to know it pretty well here. Playing varsity.
And she got a little bit of a late start to the season, was part of the track team, qualified for state track, also qualified for the Drake relays, and so missed a few of the first weeks.
There's a throw down to second, not in time. As Corsby threw it to the right spot, just nobody up the middle really. Haltman or Rasmussen ready to come get it.
Right on the bag. And a little late coming over, Haltom.
So runner standing at second here now in scoring position for the Rough Riders. As Vukovic ready to go. Fouls that one back to the screen. So the battle of the V's, Verba and Vukovic.
Well, Vukovic, third in the conference in RBIs.
This one popped up, foul ground, first base side. What a grab! Going to be made by Delfino, staying put at second base is Huggins. So there's one away here. How about this? Kind of over her back.
Going away from her too, and just had to keep heading towards that fence line, but kept an eye on it and pulled it in. That was a tough play.
Out of Claire Page. Page came up with the sacrifice RBI fly. She takes a strike here. One ball, one strike here to Claire Page. Still perfect in this series. After this one, we'll foul it straight back and out of play. Well, we've got more Iowa high school softball coming your way later this week. In fact, in a couple of days, we'll be in West Des Moines as the Valley Tigers will take on the Johnston Dragons. That'll be coming up next year on MC22 later this week. Page with a fly ball out towards center. Going to be caught by Newhouse, tagging and trying to go to third. And just in ahead of the throw was Isabel Huggins. What a strong throw by Newhouse. Let's take a look at it.
As soon as that ball got into her glove, she was ready and even had to take a couple of steps to get it in there and got it close, and Huggins gets in underneath the tag. What an arm.
Huggins able to take that base. Now to Addie Scott, who's been swinging a big bat here for the Rough Riders. Scott in the series 3 out of 4 now. Got an RBI double. That was back in the first. After this one, and we'll foul it away. 3-2 game. Again, with first base open, you've got Jalea Lee standing right behind her, but Lee also pretty dangerous at the plate. Scott after this one, and will drive it into center field for another RBI. How about Addie Scott? Coach was wondering, you know, who's going to fill that DP role? Well, I think they may have found somebody to go with for a while here.
I think they've found the hot bat again, adjusting, taking that level cut, going up in the zone, changing the plane, but driving it right back up the middle.
And she's seeing the ball really well. Here's Jalea Lee, and a 4-2 Roosevelt lead. After this one, Lee, great backhand stop by Halton. What a sharp throw, and that's going to be it for Roosevelt. But the Rough Riders strike for one in the inning on a couple of hits. They leave a runner stranded. We have played 3 complete, 4-2 Roosevelt.
Watch out. None.
Well, we're back here at Roosevelt High School. It's a 4-2 lead for the Rough Riders. And as we go into the 4th inning, Claire Page is going to enter back in on the mound. As she's back in to throw, Jalea Lee will retreat back to first base. Otherwise, the defense is going to remain the same here for Roosevelt. Dahlhauser in left, Newhouse in center, Phillips over in right. When Lincoln is out there defensively, but for Roosevelt defensively, it's Swanson, Vukovic, Bell in the outfield, and the infield from third to first with Thompson, Burriola at short, Huggins at second, Lee at first, and still behind the dish is going to be Grace Bell. Roosevelt is going to send up 9 top of the order. Jaden Rasmussen to lead off, followed by Marissa Newhouse, and then Melanie Haltom.
What a play Haltom made to end the inning. Man, she covered a lot of ground. Nice backhand stop.
She jetered it.
She did.
Jaden Rasmussen takes a strike there. In fact, let's take a look at it here. This was to end the 3rd.
Hard hit ball. I mean, that was on its way to left field. And Haltom got over there so quickly with that backhand pick and the strong throw.
But a 3-pitch strikeout as Claire Page not messing around. There's one away here in the 4th for Lincoln. To the top of the order, Newhouse.
And I think Roosevelt understands the importance of this ball game as well. And they were looking to get the sweep, trying to gain that #1 spot in the conference. And they came in thinking, we've got to win both of these. We can't be satisfied with a split, and I think that's probably why you're seeing the pitching change, and they've gone to Page here for the last few innings.
Here's the 0-1. Swing, this one headed out towards right, going back, and making the catch was Huggins.
Got up underneath that one, and Huggins just drifting. Had a little conversation with Nani Bell out there as she was coming in, trying to charge that ball, but Huggins had it under control.
Now here's Halton. Takes a strike here. Page has been dealing. 4-2 game in the top of the 4th. Here's the 0-1. Boy, changeup, and way out in front of it that time was Haltom.
Got her way out on that front foot. She looked back at the dugout, just shook her head.
I think she told him that felt weird.
Yeah.
Page dealing. Out ahead, nothing in two out, nobody on. This one just did get a piece of it.
And I think got a piece of Bell as well as it came up out of the dirt. Shakes it off.
So 0-2, still the offering. The riser. Halton stays off of it. This one on the ground, but foul.
Again, pulls the string, and a good job by Haltom to just foul that one off. Just kind of slashed at it, swatted at it to try to get a piece.
Page is dealing. Here's the 1-2. Fastball, Haltom right on him. Claire Page in relief. Second time in this game she's been throwing. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Actually dropped in the glove. A little K2-3 to end the top of the fourth. Still a 4-2 lead for Roosevelt here on MC 22.
Internet. Leading the way.
4-2 lead for Roosevelt as we now go to the home half of the fourth. It'll be Nani Bell leading it off, followed by Sloan Swanson and Grace Bell. So 7-8-9 to take on Verba, who's still dealing here for the Lincoln Rail Splitters. Sarah has been doing an admirable job, has just given up 6 hits.
She has done a good job keeping her team in this ball game. She's making the pitches, getting a lot of those pop-up outs.
Now taking on a group that is 2 for 9 in the series. This part of the order for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. And that was when Jalea Lee was batting in the 8th slot. Back in the opening game. So here we go, Bell, Swanson, and Bell. In the bottom of the fourth, Verba with the pitch. It's in there for strike 1 to Nani. Flew out to center field back in the first. Nothing in 1 the count here. This one popped up, headed out towards center, and Newhouse is there to make the play.
Got her out on the front foot. Just couldn't get too much behind that swing as she was already committed to it. Couldn't get a lot of power, and Newhouse right there.
Coming up next for Roosevelt, going to travel north in a couple of days to play up at Ames High and their new softball facilities. And then it's back at home for Roosevelt to end the week against Des Moines East and Waterloo East. That's a strike to Swanson.
Well, Roosevelt would like to avenge that one loss that they had to East early on in the conference season.
Yeah, hard to believe we're hitting the second time around on the season already.
I know, it is crazy. It goes very fast. Once you get going into season, you anticipate it, you practice, can't wait for the games to come, and then they just come in rapid fire succession.
And you look up and you're like, postseason? What? Brackets?
Yeah. Brackets are out already? Who are we playing?
1-2. That's going to be fouled and out of play.
Well, I will tell you, these two teams, however they're seated, whatever bracket they're in, they are going to be a tough team to compete with.
Yes. I mean, Not going to be desirable for any. I mean, you see one of these two schools on your way to Fort Dodge. It's not going to be an easy trip. That's strike 3 as Swanson goes down looking. Terrific pitch there by Verba to get her first strikeout of the game.
No, and in the past it has been.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. We've got those metro schools. We know we've got just maybe a little bit of a breather before we get to the next round. Not so much anymore. I think the Alliance Conference has really strengthened themselves over the last couple of years and brought the level of play of softball up.
When you think about it, Fort Dodge in 4A now rose the conference up a little bit over the last few years. Andy Adams doing a terrific job getting win number 800 earlier this season. There's a fly ball lifted out towards center field. That's going to drop in for a 2-out single for Grace Bell.
Next up for the Rough Riders, number 10, Tinley Thompson.
Just waited patiently till that ball got to her and she punched it right into the outfield.
Had a little hop on the swing.
Yeah, just a couple of steps as a left-handed hitter might do, a slapper, but just kind of stuck that toe down and took that extra swipe at it.
Going to try to take second. Here's the throw, the tag, and out at second as Horsby throws out another runner. That's going to be it for Roosevelt. No runs on a hit. They leave nobody stranded. We played 4 complete. And it's a 4-2 ball game. So how did we get here? Let's take a look now at our game recap. And things got started with some pretty good offense by Roosevelt as they played 3 runs in the first inning. Here's a sac fly as Thompson came in to score. Roosevelt not done yet in the first. Little base knock there by Jalea Lee right here. Prior to that was Addie Scott knocking in another run for the Rough Riders, as Scott would eventually come around to score. Now Newhouse and company able to get things going. A 2 RBI hit by Marissa Newhouse. That was in the second inning. She's got the rails a little bit closer. And Addie Scott continues to swing a big bat for these Roosevelt Rough Riders as she comes up with another RBI single. That's how we got here. 4-2. And some good defense here by Lincoln. How about the throw out?
Boy, that was close. I'm going to tell you that Bell might have gotten in under the tag before it was laid down. The throw was there. The tag was late. And Coach Nagel was not happy with that call as they were trying to get another runner down into scoring position, but it was very close. The throw was there. It was a good throw by Corsby. Tag might have been just a hair late.